Ah, yes. Get 4 dev strikes, team gets 1 other kill, and that's about it. So, ships hasn't changed at all. But welcome back, everybody. It's business. Part of the reason why I've been absent, at least for some period of time, was building a new computer and moving to a house and all this stuff. So, got a awesome setup here. I had this whole idea planned out as far as like even my thumb screws are powder coated turquoise. I have custom cables from Insourced that are turquoise and white, and I actually have a bunch of dummy cables even that I plugged in just to add to the aesthetic. That's that's kind of ridiculous. So I've been contemplating getting like an opaque sheet of acrylic to put at the bottom of the case, since I'm not going to be putting any bottom fans in the slots there, and maybe do some other lighting stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun doing this, and I spent way too much time trying to figure out where the hell I can get a video card, and I think it took something like 200 hours on my wife's MacBook Pro and my phone to try to try to secure one, and I finally did. I obviously wanted to go for the 3080, but the 3070 was both more plentiful and more likely to be able to purchase. So that's the route I ended up going. So we'll ride this wave until the next GPU crisis hits our wonderful little hobby here, and go straight to shit. So, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm not really sure where to go with commentary in this video today. So, like, there's so much going on as far as, the Dutch cruisers are being released. Got the goddamn submarines, which play like shit. It's so awful to play both as and against them. Just to, like, I really thought that they had a chance to make it interesting and all that stuff, but really it's just another version of carriers. Just bullshit. It's so poorly done, and integrated is the bigger problem. It's very poorly integrated into the game, and it's a shame, because they could have actually done a lot with it. But if it's not a separate game mode, ooh boy, this game's gonna be hurting. I think for like the initial week or two will be fine, and then it'll just kind of plummet from there as far as people's interest in the game. And really, what they're probably gonna do is just shove this shit right down the throats of like the people who play low to mid tiers, so like tier 5, 6, 7 or something like that. Which, boy, I'm just not on board with the idea that submarines are something that bring value to the game as it is, like as they are, I should say. But yeah, the Dutch cruisers are coming up. We'll be able to get upwards of the tier 9 with the new patch, and those that's another whole can of worms right there, because so long time ago, I was suggesting that we would get rid of carriers in favor of bringing in some sort of like airstrike that the team can call into action, and it kind of just goes over a larger area. More of a denial thing, and if you get hit, then yeah, it'll do damage or whatever, but it's not going to be. It's more a disruption thing, as opposed to something that you could actually rely on to really turn the tide of the game. And these airstrikes that are coming with the Dutch cruisers, they're fucking insane. The speed at which the bombs drop, the max damage of the bombs, the fire chance, the fact that each Dutch cruiser gets 2 of these airstrikes, and they reload every 30, what, no, not 30 seconds, it's like 90 seconds or something. Oh my god. This is going to be such a fucking shit show when this goes live. It really is. Because even if you just have one or two on each team, and that's obviously really lowballing it. That's like, that might be lowballing it 6 months from now. But like the whole idea that they should be doing that much damage is beyond me. Oh, and their armor penetration too is, if I remember correctly, not that bad. But it's just ridiculous. They clearly have a massive disconnect, and this is the shit that we've been talking about for years, is just putting in stuff that nobody asked for and doing a very poor job of putting it into the game as well. And it's just one of those really disappointing things where you see something that you enjoy, you put a lot of time and effort in, and of course a shitload of money, and it just, they're just clueless. They don't know what they're doing, and I'm like, as far as like for the sake of the game and stuff, there's just so many things that they could improve upon, and it's just not gonna happen. So definitely upsetting, but at the very least I still have the Pensacola, and now I have the Paolo Emilio, so that's good. So the Paolo Emilio, that ship was not like that when I tested it, which I had the chance to test it twice. I only played it the very first iteration, and it was a terrible fucking ship. Then they changed it. I didn't even bother playing it because the first impressions that I had with it from the first test when I was a CC were really bad. So whatever. But yeah, this is one of the better changes that they made for the Pensacola, putting it down to tier 6, was adding that armor. I didn't actually even have to use it in this situation. Aim under that rear turret. God damn. That feels incredible. My reaction on Twitch was very much shock, let's just say. So, I mean, I knew I could do it to the Congo. The Fuso was a different matter altogether, but the Congo, I knew I could do that. I just didn't know whether or not I would do it, because even though you can do something, it doesn't mean that it's gonna fucking happen in this game. So, this match, actually, this is hilarious, because this is the first match that I've played in the Henry, and I'm not even joking, since they did the acceleration nerf on this. So, and this was just, I recorded this July 9th. So, when you're watching in the future, like 3 years from now, when, you know, the planet's on fire and all that stuff, and everybody's dead, except for you, you'll be like, oh wow, look at these better times. But, no, the Henry is something that will always be viable because of the caliber, because of the range, because of the shell pen. It's, you know, the way people complain about, like, oh yeah, the Zao is, you know, just power crept to hell. I don't see that at all. I think the Zao is still a great ship, because Japanese HE is still so incredibly strong, and it's strong without being gimmicky, is the thing. Whereas the Royal Navy HE, of course, you know, the quarter shell pen, and of course I'm referring to the battleship, since I can't actually think of this. No, I don't think any cruisers actually have quarter HE pen. Maybe, I don't know. Shit, I've been away for so long. I don't know anything about like the Belfast 43 or any of these other ships that they've released. I like legitimately know nothing about it. Anyhow, so the Henry is just a strong ship, and it's certainly capable. I personally love the Brawl battleships in this. I think it's fucking hilarious, because the shell pen of these 240s, like if there's a cyclone like in this match, and you know, you're able to come in on the side of a battleship, you know, and get that main battery reload booster off. I mean, I've seen Yamatos, Montanas, whatnot, Thunderers, Conquerors. They just get dev struck. it's just amazing how capable these guns are, which is why it's ridiculous that it has all these consumables. And again, they only added main battery reload booster because nobody was playing the French cruisers enough, and that they have even stated that it was, you know, a mistake, or maybe not as strong a word as a mistake, but to introduce it. And it's one of those things, again, you know, in the hands of different developers, maybe they wouldn't be tying their hands every single update with new mechanics or something like that, you know, later on down the line, or even at the time of the release, the introduction of those mechanics, it doesn't adversely affect the game. And unfortunately, the way this has been going, and it has been going for quite some time, is simply that whatever's newest is going to be the best. And so for ships to have any sort of relevancy for, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, which I can't believe it's been that long already, is actually amazing. And that's why it's even more impressive that the Yamato is still as viable as it is, because it does have, for you know, for at least a little bit longer before they release that new I guess it's actually a battleship, that new British one with the 508mm shells. It'll be kind of on it, like the Yamato will be on its own in terms of having the big guns, because yes, the Musashi and the Shikishima have it, but they're both based off the Yamato anyways, so I kind of include them in that conversation as well, because they are part of the same thing. So and aside from that, 510mm on the Shikishima doesn't really do anything that the 460 doesn't already do. I mean, there are a couple, I think a couple fringe cases, but really for the most part you play it the same, you shoot it the same. So anyhow, so as you can tell, pretty much have just played the Henry as you would expect to play it, at distance, and taken a, you know, fair amount of attention and fire. And of course, I swear to God, I was thinking about hitting, I think actually on stream I had mentioned that I should put Hydro on at some point here real soon, and then not even like 2 seconds later, there's the torque. So, and yes, I went ahead and used Hydro after it, because I still don't have enough information as to where enemy torpedoes are, or, you know, that sort of thing, whatever else is on the way. So decided to dump some torps there, because clearly, you know, somebody's going to be coming around that corner at some point, so hopefully we can surprise them with that. And man, if you get the chance to get these slow ass turrets on a destroyer, and you're able to get a few salvos into them, it is amazing how much damage this ship can do to a DD. So I don't even know what ship that is. I can't even fucking see it. So I actually paused the recording and went ahead and made that the preview window here full screen, and it's a Tiger 59. Now I got it. So I've seen those like maybe 1 or 2 other times outside of this match. It doesn't seem to be a very popular ship, and I really don't know much about it other than I think it has 2 minnow guns, and that's about it. So very weird ship from what I've seen. Anyway, so Salem's down. We're trying to get rid of this Jutland here. Shimakaze is trying to get some work done here too. Or no, the Daring, my bad. So Shimakaze is right behind me. And you know, we're down on points here, 3 caps to 1. About 11.5 minutes left. The Cyclone is starting to come into effect, and I mention this all the time on stream, but just for your sake, in case you were wondering, it does take a full 1.5 minutes to go from the initial 5-minute timer going down to the 8-kilometer radius at which you can see during the Cyclone. So it takes 6.5 minutes from the initial warning to being full-on effects in the Cyclone. So I like pointing that out, because it does make a huge difference as far as how the team manages itself, and if you try to survive just long enough to get to the cyclone, then you can start ambushing people, and maybe even get like a whole group of them at once. Jesus Christ, I've seen that happen before, and I've done it before. What was it, there's a Hindenburg match on Mountain Range, whatever it is, and I think I ended up getting 4 kills in the span of like 30 seconds or something like that, in the cyclone, and brought our team back from being like, I don't know, a couple 100 points or 150 points down to being even with them, and that was pretty glorious. So it's somewhere, there is a video with that. God, I wish I could still do that sort of stuff in Hindenburg, but not anymore, man. So Minnesota is obviously dealing with the summers. Take a shot off the mini-map, because that's a great idea to put a dot on the mini-map and also still have cyclones, and try to get them to work together, because all they did was just make it easier for me and other players to be able to take the shots based off of the mini-map. So I refrained from doing that here against the Tiger, mainly because I didn't want to be mid-reload, even with the main battery reload booster, which that was a terrible shot. I didn't want to be mid-reload when I first have the chance to engage him, because again, I don't know shit about the ship other than it likes to explode really bad. So anyway, yeah, so those torps actually end up taking out the Summers, so the Shimakaze gets credited with that kill, and we move on over towards the other side of the map. And now there's an Asashio here. Of course, I really don't want to use MBRB, because they do have the Minotaur up here somewhere, and obviously plenty of other threats, but at the same time, I gotta use this as soon as possible here against the Asashio, do what I can. Unfortunately, of course, he disappears, which is a huge shame, because it would have been nice to take him out, but there's the Agir, and yeah, not really. I don't really get too many chances to engage that ship with anything. I never really seem to have the opportunity to go toe-to-toe against one. So, a nice 27k salvo there against the Minotaur. I was really hoping for the dev strike, so I didn't have to take that little bit of extra damage there from the gear, but another four sits. We're up to, what is it, 15 now? Trying to get some last-second damage on the Asashio, because I'm just guessing that I'm going to die here either via the Richelieu that's off to my left, or the Agir himself. So, and get the torps off. That kind of sucked, but oh well. And then we mutually kill each other. So, what, 292,000? Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, the Shimakaze definitely was a big help that match, and I mean, crazy base XP. I mean, anything over 3,000 is pretty damn nuts. So anyways, thank you for watching today. Hope you enjoyed that, and the audio too hopefully sounds good. I'm using NVIDIA Broadcast, no more push-to-talk bullshit. All the background noise is canceled out, and it's awesome. I love it. So yeah, I'll see you back here next time though, guys, and Maggie says hello too. So peace out. Bye.